The RMS Aquitania. Aquitania was built in Clydebank, Scotland in 1912 or 1913. The ship was finished in 1914 and it was fitted out in probably 1913 to 1914. The ship was launched on May of 1914. The ship was 901 feet in length, larger than older sister ships, Lusitania and Mauretania, were both smaller and older and faster than Aquitania. But Aquitania was larger and safer than both of them. Aquitania had a lifespan of 36 years, from 1914 to 1950. The ship costed $2 million pounds of money.
Really?
To make the ship. Well, $2 billion to make the ship, or it's 2 million euros. It was 2 million euros or 2 billion euros to build the ship. And 2 million pounds of money.
2 million pounds?
The ship was 24 knots in speed. The highest speed the Aquitania ever reached was 28 knots.
Wow.
Now here comes the rivalry of Aquitania versus Olympic. So, as you all know, Aquitania could be bigger than Olympic. And it actually is bigger than Olympic. It's 20 or 10 something feet, 20 something or 10 something feet larger than Olympic. Well, it's 20 something. Well, actually, actually 17 or 18 feet larger than Olympic. And Aquitania was larger and faster, had a larger capacity and a longer lifespan, and was faster than Olympic. But Olympic had a larger displacement, was older than Aquitania. And even though it looks like Aquitania has a higher displacement, it actually doesn't, but Aquitania has a higher displacement than both of her sister ships. And Olympic had a rivalry with Mauretania, or it could have been Lusitania. And now, and then in 1914, or it could have been August. Well, I think Aquitania did not get to. I am not sure, but I think the Aquitania only got to serve in liner service as an ocean liner like this design for a year, because already the war has already broken out, so the ship only could probably stay like this for a year. The ship was able to. And then they turned the ship into HMT Aquitania. And that kind of condition for Aquitania was the only liner to serve in both wars and survive through both wars. It survived 1 and 2 wars. But unfortunately, it didn't get to go in the Cold War, but I'm not sure if there was battleships in the Cold War. Put it in the comments so you can correct me if there was battleships. I think there was, but yeah, so the Aquitania stayed in this position for 4 years until she was put back into passenger service. and then actually it was put into a hospital. Then it was turned. Then the ship was turned into a hospital ship, and this is what it looks like. And I am sure that hospital ships get more safety when they're uploaded into a hospital ship. And so yeah, so Aquitania was then turned into a hospital ship in 1919. Well, it could have been 1918. And it could have took wounded soldiers, and it took more soldiers than Britannic, 50,000 in total. It did, and yeah, it could have still was turned into a hospital ship in 1919, probably because there was wounded soldiers, because all hospitals in the United Kingdom could have been too busy for all those soldiers to be fitted, so that's why they needed the need for hospital ships. And then they turned the Aquitania back into passenger service. Then they put the Aquitania back into passenger service for 20 years until 1940, until they converted the Aquitania into a troop transport. Then 20 years later, they turned the Aquitania into a troop transport until 1946, when they put it into cruise service. And then Aquitania was turned into a cruise ship in 1946, and until then, the Aquitania went back into passenger service, or for the rest of its career, it stayed like this until 1950, until this happened to our beloved Aquitania. It might be very sad to see this. So, if you don't want to see this, then close your eyes, bro, if you don't want to see this. Then this happened to Aquitania. In 1950, she was scrapped in Faslane, Scotland in 1950 for 125,000 euros. And that was the end of the Aquitania. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and comment about some of these things I could have got wrong. So I'll see you again on my next video. Bye.